Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Nomad, the World is My Beat. I'm British journalist Lisa Foreman, and I'm taking you around the world with me in my suitcase. I'm actually down in Cannes, which is a home from home, and I'm here recording this week's episode. Now, like many people, I come from a dysfunctional family. I don't necessarily have a place to go at Christmas. And on top of that, I travel a huge amount and I've lived all over the world. And I'm not necessarily anywhere near the people I call family at this time of year. I, like many people, have a traumatic relationship to a lot of my family, and that definitely is brought up from the Christmas celebrations. And if you haven't seen it, please check out last week's episode, which is called Birthplace of Jesus, Erasure of Me, the Church of the Nativity Scandal. It's about how, in fact, as I'm half Palestinian and my family is from Bethlehem, the Church of the Nativity is my family church, but they've disowned me. So as you can imagine, processing that or posting that episode on Christmas Day ups the ante when it comes to family trauma and Christmas. On top of that, I have an adopted family that are pretty good with me, but this year I was told it's inconvenient for you to come home for Christmas. I made a decision on the spot, and that has turned into this week's wonderful adventure of doing Christmas and the holidays in Cannes. And that's really formed the inspiration for this week's episode, to basically encourage people to get creative, get distracted, get connected to local people, and find a way through these weird days for so many people without it tanking you. Now, it really tanked me in the week leading up to Christmas. I didn't hear a single word from anybody in my family on Christmas Day, and I haven't done for the whole holiday season. A couple of them chucked me some money. This is the Cannes Souquet Church, and inside there is an 11 p.m. I suppose it's a mass, a Christmas mass. This is the 24th of December 2025, and people are in costumes. It's really cool. They're dressed up in these sort of historic costumes, but I don't know from which era. And some are carrying lobsters because, of course, this is the sea. People would have lived from the sea. It's super cool. I don't get to see this stuff in other places. In any case, this episode is a celebration of all the wonderful ways that I have passed the holiday season in recent memory. That includes spending Christmas with Thich Nhat Hanh's monks at the Plum Village monastery in the Dordogne. Thich Nhat Hanh was thrown out of Vietnam by the communists during the Vietnam War. He was a peace activist. He was taken into exile by France, and he has now deceased, but he established monasteries all over the world. He's a big reason we practice mindfulness. But the monks also practice love, compassion and inclusion. And in other episodes of family drama, I have found myself down there, welcomed with open arms, been surrounded by the love and joy of the monks, listened to their wonderful teachings, taken part in their rituals, tried to get up in the morning to go to 6 a.m. service, but unfortunately I don't even usually get to sleep by 6 a.m, and so on and so forth. I've even done an online New Year's Eve retreat with them.
Pop up the serotonin. Just spend a week of life in the science paradise. Just spend a week of life in the neuroscience.
Other times I have travelled to spend Christmases with friends, and depending on what state those friends are in really dictates the quality of the Christmas. One year a couple were breaking up and it was pretty awful. Another year, some of my really chilled friends welcomed me along with some of their funky friends that do things like DJ, and I had a great time running around the lakes outside of Berlin. Last year, in fact, I was in the middle of an expedition travelling overland from Paris to the south of Morocco, or the Western Sahara, Dakhla, and I was in bed sick, not because I get food poisoning in Morocco, generally I don't, but because the hotel substituted cow's milk for coconut milk and didn't tell me, and I'm allergic to it. So last night here in Cannes, I was delighted to wander over to the Gare Maritime, a building usually reserved for handing out badges and passes during the festivals and congresses. It's become a pop-up bar. Cannes has decided to become a year-round destination, and last night there was a disco, there was a showcase of local talent, there was French rap, Tonight there's a hip-hop lesson, there's a mixing session, there's a California disco, and if that's not your thing, in the Palais itself there's a magic show, there's a dinner show and a Bollywood show. But even if that's not your thing, there's another trend which I have discovered by coming down here at this time of year, which is that dance world proper is really taking up residence in the south of France in a big way. So Benjamin Millepied, arguably France's most famous choreographer, formerly a principal dancer at the New York Ballet and the boss man at the Paris Opera, has last week premiered his reworking of the Nutcracker at the Nice Opera. I'm told by the lady that sat next to me up in the gods, where I had a €10 ticket, that that's because the guy who runs the Nice Opera has done a massive amount to shake it up. Wow, so this is the Nice Opera House. It's exquisite. Look at this. It's extraordinary. No wonder that Benjamin Millepied is premiering his revised Nutcracker here this week. I will be heading off also in a couple of days to Monaco to see the Monte Carlo Ballet and Christophe Maillot premiere of Baladine, which mixes ballet and AI. Sounds fascinating. They've confirmed there's a definite trend down here. Cannes itself has a first-class dance festival, and let's not forget the Marseille Ballet, which is world-class. And I came down to Marseille in 2024 to see the Olympic Flame arrive, and I was invited to an incredible outdoors Marseille Ballet production on the rocks of an island. They're experimental, they're world class, so they do really cool work. So as somebody that's hugely passionate about dance and was not particularly happy that I don't have any classes to go to for a couple of weeks, not only do I have a hip hop class now to go to tonight here in Cannes, but there's all this wonderful dance to actually sit down and watch. As I speak, I am on a beach. It's boiling hot. I'm wearing a swimsuit. I've just swum in 14 degrees. The locals are back out and they are rejoicing that apparently there's been 14 days of strong winds. Personally, I feel that I've reached the other side. Christmas is behind us. But not only that, I found something that worked for me to get through the holiday season. That was the monks one year. It was my friends in LA one year. Sometimes it's my dad in England. Sometimes it's my mates in Germany. But this expedition to Cannes, I really came into my own because, frankly, the Cannois are just not having it. You know, Christmas in France anyway is a shorter affair. It's basically the night of the 24th. The 25th was quiet, but there was still plenty open, and I went to the ballet. And here we are. Everyone was on the beach swimming on the 25th. They're back on the beach today. Everything's back open. So instead of getting caught up in your trauma, and no question, I did that myself last week and it was horrible. I found a place where I feel safe, feel happy, where I've liked getting to know and hanging out with the locals. And where, frankly, because I spend so much time in this place, in this sort of atmosphere, it's sunny, there's the beach, there are restaurants, there are shops I go to, there's things to do. I don't even feel like it's Christmas, and I feel for the people in England that are having to go through all of that. If that doesn't work for you, if you haven't got a place that's strong enough in your life to help you overcome all of that, I would just say head to the Arab world. In many places in the Arab world, you can barely see Christmas. In Dakhla last year, it was a regular school day. There was a marching band going up and down outside my hotel. There was one forlorn-looking Christmas tree in a shop, and that was it. I thought it was a relief. So if anyone can say, I survived Christmas and I've done it in style, it's me. Please check out last week's episode. And guys, get out there and just make Christmas an opportunity, if you haven't already, to have some fun.
The moment, find yourself in the here and now. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah.